Hello, welcome back to the channel. Today, got another couple of GT Sport videos for you. So the first one is in Alfa Romeo, it's at Alsace Village, one of the Gran Turismo original circuits. So starting in 6th position, pretty poor qualifying from me, but I didn't do much practice. So we're going to have a look down the inside, think better of it, give the Brit in front a little shunt, and then dive down the inside. So up to 4th position. Just trying to tuck into that slipstream of the cars ahead, building up a slight lead from the cars behind. Just trying to just eke out as much time as possible, dive down the inside with a weenie, up to 3rd, so a pretty good start. Have to leave him the space though as he comes back through. And just drifting on the exit. This car likes to slide a lot, loses traction very easily. So again, just trying to settle down into the race, not make any mistakes. Using all of the track available. Again, just drifted through the corner. Can't get any traction here. We've got a 1.8 second lead on the cars behind, which is a pretty good start. So the cars ahead are starting to pull ahead. They're about 3 seconds quicker in the qualifying, so I wasn't expecting to be able to compete with them too much. But I just run a bit wide, try and carry just too much speed through that corner and go off. So then that's going to put me in a bad position in the next corner, so we're going to speed it up a bit. The car behind's starting to catch up, but he got a decent lead over him, just about a second, which is expanding now. We're also losing touch with the cars ahead, so we're going to start losing their slipstream. It's only a 3-lap race, so any moves need to be done quickly. The car behind just in the slipstream, just gaining a little bit of time on the straights. Again, just drifting out of the corners. There's no traction with this car, but using all of the track available just to try and eke out as much time as possible. So I'm getting better at this track as we go through the race. Just learning the corners, learning where to brake, learning where to put the power on. It is a very fun track to drive though. So the first part of the lap is where I'm a bit quicker than Apex Alliance RAC, but it's this section they're coming into now where I lose quite a bit of time. You can see it's lost 3/10 through that corner. Just constantly looking back, trying to monitor the gap, see if I need to go defensive, which I do. I just park it on the apex, he can't get through. And it gives me a little touch which helps me out, slows him down and speeds me up. And again, I'm just parking it on the apex, not letting him through. And he's too close to be able to capitalise on me going slowly, so he can't pull out. He gets very close, gets a bit sideways on, you see on the radar, in the bottom right corner. And again, I get the better exit. Now just one more corner to go. Just trying to break that slipstream. And I've made my intentions very clear that I'm taking the inside line no matter what. I compromised my line through there, but it blocks him. He's too slow, doesn't get the run out of the corner. And in the end it is very tight. I get 4th position, which is pretty good for a race that I've never done before. Now on to the next race. This is a longer race. It's race C this time in Group 3 cars. It's starting 13th, so not too good, but not too bad at the same time. 12 lap race. So this race, they overfuel the car for you, so you have 20 laps to play with. So you don't need to refuel, it's just tyres. You need to use the hards and the mediums, so a little bit of strategy is involved in this one. So I'm using the Lamborghini Huracan, just trying to tuck into the slipstream of the GT ahead. Now I've got the pace advantage on the Porsche behind, so that shouldn't be too much of a problem. Brake later than the German, and just make a neat move down the inside. Now this is where the carnage happens, so I get collected there. And I get a 1 second penalty for it. There's not too much I could do about that. So a bit unfair, but what can you do? And just trying to move around the outside of everyone. Just try and pick up as many places as possible. And that turns into the inside for this corner. I'm just sliding a little bit. The Mercedes goes off, and I get hit by the Audi there and hit into the Mercedes. And get 4 more seconds of penalty, so a 5 second penalty to start the race. Not great. And plus it's not penalties I deserved. So I'm just trying to do damage limitation right now. I'm quicker than the guys behind me, but then they are quite dirty drivers. I'll make a small mistake there. Another car, the German again, the Ford GT, comes down the inside, but he doesn't force me off. But I'm going to be compromised through this corner and onto the straight. It's a really long straight here at Fuji, so you want to get as good a run as possible. But 5 seconds of penalty feels like an eternity. So I'm all the way down to 17th position. The Alfa Romeo dives into the pits. So back up to 16th, not great. They're going to speed it up here. All I'm trying to do is just catch up to the guys ahead. I'm not used to the Group 3 cars right now. I'm a bit out of practice with them, so they do seem to snatch a bit of oversteer on the exits of corners, so it is pretty difficult. Move up to 15th as another guy pits. Someone spins out, so 14th. Just slowly reeling in the cars ahead. Going to go back to normal speed again. So the VW goes wide, up to 12th position, and I have a look down the inside with that Lamborghini, but it's not to be. But he gets a poor exit, I get a good one. So now I've got the speed and I'll be able to capitalise on the slipstream. The car ahead has a penalty. It's up to 10, so he's not getting the slipstream anymore, because that car in 9th is just too far ahead. So I move to the inside. He doesn't really do too much to defend it. He brakes slightly later and just manages to get ahead. I'll give him a little nudge, but if anything that helped him. So he moves back ahead. And I get a little twitch off the curb. And I lose quite a bit of time there. I get half a second penalty for it. There's a lot of penalties being thrown out this race. And to make matters worse, I'm back into the clutch as the car's behind, and I get rammed. That Frenchman is very dirty driver. So the Mercedes goes a bit wide, and he hits me. Of course. Would it be Gran Turismo if he didn't? I leave him the space on the outside. So I get quite a good line through there. He's backed up a bit. And now the 4 drivers behind are starting to fight. But then I'll have to serve my half a second penalty. So it'll put me pretty close to them. They have a lot more speed down the straight now, and obviously it's a very long straight. So the penalty's a lot worse than it would normally be on this straight. So I weave a bit, try and look to defend, but the Alfa goes down the inside. Now there's 5 people and I get hit. The chain reaction from a car being hit behind. Now I'm behind all of them. The cars ahead tried to go 3 wide, which won't work out well. And surprisingly there's not been much contact. And no one's gone off. Did not expect that. And I'm just starting to lose it a bit. These tyres aren't too grippy. I nearly get hit from behind. Then my exit gets compromised by the sliding of the tyres. So I'm confident that I can drive a lot quicker than these people. It's just trying to get away from them, trying to get past them as well. They do not like to be overtaken. The Volkswagen, this has a little bit of a slide, so I dive down the inside. But I get pushed a bit, and I'm off again. So the VW moves back up to 16th, so I'm down to 17th again. So not great first half of the race. I'm just out of the slipstream range. We're going to speed it up again and go into hyper speed. VW picks up a half a second penalty. He goes a bit wide. I get a bit of a better exit, but I'm not close enough to capitalise on it. Just tucking into the slipstream, doing what I can. He goes onto the grass, and I brake late. He gives me a nudge, but it won't stop me. Up into 16th position. And on that corner, I've learned that you don't get a penalty there. There's a car driving the wrong way. So, don't know what was going on there. But anyway, moving on. So again, just trying to eke out as much time as possible. I want to be in that slipstream with the car ahead. But now Mighty Clipper 74 behind me, he's going to have my slipstream, and I might just be in the slipstream with the cars ahead. The Lamborghini goes into the pits and crashes, so he doesn't actually go into the pits. And he gets respawned on the straight, so he doesn't get stress set of tyres either. So I just get a bit too much onto the curb and just spin very slightly. So Mighty Clipper moves ahead. So I'm up to 14th place now. So nearly back to where I started. This corner you have to be so patient with the throttle. You have to place it exactly right, because with that corner you don't want to get it wrong. It's a very technical circuit in my opinion, this one. I'm going to speed it up again. probably don't want to just see me lapping round. So the Mercedes behind us caught up a bit, and I go into the pits to put on the medium tyres. No fuel. A lovely GoPro livery that I stole off someone. And I'm out in 16th place, which isn't too bad. Or 15th place actually. I slide slightly on the first corner. So we're going to speed up again. I'm in a bit of no man's land right now. Not in anyone's slipstream, but no one's in my slipstream. Just slowly catching Mighty Clipper again. He has a penalty. He goes into the pits as well. The 4GT again that ran me at the start. Not too happy to be coming out behind him. But he runs wide and I pick up the position nice and easy. There's 3 cars ahead. Want to try and get past them as quickly as possible. Mighty Clipper runs wide and I have to go into a bit of a slide to avoid him, so I lose time. But I can make it up on the straight because this car does have quite good straight line speed. Taking the corner much better than the Audi, but he just turns into me. I lose a bunch of time because he doesn't ghost for some reason. I just continue to ram him. But no penalty, which is good for once. I get that slightly wrong and run wide. That actually sets me up quite nicely for the last corner onto the straight. You want to take it as wide as possible to get the best possible exit. But the Audi's in my slipstream. I'm just trying to just cover him off a bit. Make life difficult for him. I'm putting down my claim for the inside line for the first hairpin. He's not quite alongside me, so he brakes slightly later than me, but I have the line and he hits me. I don't really leave him the room, but it's what he gets for trying to ram into the side of me. I'll take that second corner quite nicely. I'm starting to build up a bit of a lead with him. Half a second lead. But I'm starting to lose touch with the 2 drivers battling ahead. The Audi is back right behind me. I'll go a bit defensive into the chicane. Get good traction. He just can't find a way past. He's alongside me, but then has to back off. There's nowhere for him to go. But then he doesn't back off in the end. Forces his way up. But I do the old switchback and take back the position down the inside. And he rams me again. Again, it's Gran Turismo, you have to expect that. The online racing is pretty dirty in this game, at least at the lower levels, which I race in. But I get a much better run than him, so much faster down the straight, and go back to the racing line, and then I go defensive. Just slightly cover off the inside. Again, he brakes later, but you can't do anything about it. I leave him the space this time, but he still rams me, so he can't use the space. And now that bit of contact seems to have slowed him down a bit. Now we've got a second lead. And alternative 1995, he's slowed down a bit. He's lost touch of Mighty Clipper. And we're slowly starting to reel in the chrome Mercedes. in his slipstream, under a second now on the final lap. So we actually get a purple section. He gets a 0.5 second penalty. So I'm just trying to just stick with him about half a second behind. That'll be good. So yeah, 6/10 behind, but he gets a half second penalty, but he's so much slower because of the slowdown penalty that I easily breeze past him. And I get 11th, so I moved up 2 positions. So that brings us to the end of the video. Thank you for watching. If you're new, please subscribe, like the video if you enjoyed, and have a good day.